Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese. Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese.
Hello, welcome to Chinese Pod, bringing you lessons in spoken Mandarin from Shanghai, China. Now, today's lesson, we have a musical topic, and we'll be looking at that in just a moment. My name is Ken Carroll, and I'm joined by...
Hi, I'm Jenny.
Okay, now, before we listen, could you choose maybe a key word for today's lesson to help us? We know we're talking about music, but to help us build a little bit more context here.
Sure. I'll choose the simple word 弹.
Now, the tone there is...
second tone.
Second tone. And that sounds very much like a verb to me.
Yes.
So what does this verb 弹 mean?
It means to play.
To play?
But any kind of instruments that you play with your hands, your fingers.
That's interesting. So it means it's the verb to play, as in to play certain types of musical instruments, those with which you use your fingers to play.
Yes.
So in other words, you wouldn't use the verb 弹 to play the drums.
Flute.
Or
No,
the flute.
no.
Now that's interesting. That's very interesting. You do need your fingers to play the flute. But anyway, that's academic.
Yes.
We can look at that later. So let's sit back now and listen to this dialogue, and we'll put it together for you in a moment.
你会弹钢琴吗？
不会，但是我会弹古筝。
是吗？你可以教我吗？
好的，没问题。Second time.
你会弹钢琴吗？
不会，但是我会弹古筝。
是吗？你可以教我吗？
好的，没问题。Third time.
你会弹钢琴吗？
不会，但是我会弹古筝。
是吗？你可以教我吗？
好的，没问题。
All right, let's work at the level of translations now, please.
你会弹钢琴吗？
Can you play the piano?
你会弹钢琴吗？
Can you play piano?
你会弹钢琴吗？不会，但是我会弹古筝。
No, but I can play the 古筝。
不会，但是我会弹古筝。
No, but I can play this traditional Chinese instrument known as the 古筝。
不会，但是我会弹古筝。是吗？你可以教我吗？
Really? Can you teach me?
是吗？你可以教我吗？
Really? Can you teach me?
是吗？你可以教我吗？好的，没问题。
Okay, no problem.
好的，没问题。
All right, no problem.
好的，没问题。
All right, now let's drill down into the specifics here. Let's go back to the first sentence, please, Jenny.
你会弹钢琴吗？
Now, can you play piano? So the word for piano is...
钢琴，钢琴，
and the verb to be able to.
会，会。
And of course, our key word for today was a verb to play, as in certain types of instruments, and that was?
弹。
Good. So let's put it together again one more time.
你会弹钢琴吗？
Great. So can you play the piano? Could we have the tones for piano, please?
钢琴 first and second.
钢琴, first and second piano. Jenny, can you play piano actually?
I'm afraid 不会
So I'll ask you again. 你会弹钢琴吗, Jenny?
不会
哎呦，我也不会。
Same.
How sad. Now,
Yes.
and so in the dialogue, the answer was, no, I can't.
不会
Now, that's great, a very simple way to answer this kind of question because the question used the verb 会.
会, yes.
So when you answer in Chinese, it's very common. So listen to the verb in the question and use the same verb in the answer.
Yeah.
So 你会弹吗? Can you play it? And so the answer is
不会不会
Now, you could often have the same, you might have the same, like, can you speak Chinese?
你会说中文吗？
And so you have the option of saying, I can
会
or I can't.
不会
All right.
So you just need to answer using the verb.
The verb. Yeah. And in fact, one word answers can work if you get the verb right. You can just say 会. Or, of course, you could say 不会.
Yeah. That's how you get your speaking going.
Absolutely.
At the very
The-
first stage.
It's a good little strategy in Chinese, listen to the verb in the question. Even a one-word answer, two-word answer, that's
Yeah.
fine. And these are strategies that will help to initiate simple conversations, so I do strongly recommend them.
A lot of students of Chinese Pod tell us while they love to speak and listen to Mandarin, they are a bit intimidated to learn how to read and write in it because of the complexity of Chinese characters. That's why we created the 66 Characters series. Try it and see for yourself.
Now, so 不会 meaning I can't, and the implication being here, I can't play piano. But I can play the 古筝. Let's hear that, please.
但是我会弹古筝。
Good. Now, however,
但是
and the tones for that are...
they're both fourth tone.
Okay, so one more time, please.
但是
And that means however or but. However, I can play the 古筝.
但是我会弹古筝。
Good. Now, this 古筝, could you tell us something about this marvelous instrument?
Yeah, it's an ancient Chinese musical instrument.
Yes.
It's a string instrument,
Yes.
which looks like the sort of foundation
Yeah.
is a mahogany board.
Yeah.
And there are pieces of strings attached on it.
It looks a little bit like those flat pick guitars, that in country and western that they
Yes.
use. They put it on their lap and they plug
yeah.
them. It's actually, you
Very
don't put it on your
simple.
lap. You put it on the table.
Yeah. And it's quite long.
It's long.
It's about 1 meter.
Indeed. And some of the techniques are actually similar to that type of thing. And now, as you said, the verb tan refers to an instrument that you play with your fingers. This is very much a plucking and
Yes.
strumming thing. Let's hear the tones for that, please. 古筝 again, please.
古筝，古筝。
Now, I actually don't know much about this this instrument, but 古, tell us the meaning of the word 古. Is that as in ancient?
Yes, old, ancient.
Old. And 筝?
筝, I think, just refers to that music instrument.
Okay, all right. So it's an old 筝, if you're key to remember. Now, just in case you're wondering what does a 古筝 sound like, you can actually hear it every single
yes.
day here on our podcast because that is the background music. So one more time, listening to that instrument, it's called the
古筝.
Good. Can you play the 古筝?
Sorry,
Oh
I can't
my
either.
gosh.
Do you know the story behind my lack of ability to play any musical instruments?
Well, you tell us,
When-
but I won't believe it because I
No.
don't believe you lack any ability. But anyway.
Yeah, because when I was growing up, my parents and I, we lived in a room.
Yes.
Smaller, well, probably the same size as this recording studio
Wow.
we're in now, which is about 10 square meters,
Wow.
slightly bigger than this. So it has all our furniture in it. We
You couldn't
eat in
fit a
it.
古筝
Yeah.
inside that.
So we do everything in this little room, and there's no room for anything else.
Maybe you could get a little mini guzheng, bring it inside.
Oh.
No, I don't.
So how China has changed in the past
Indeed.
10 years
now,
or so.
now you live in a veritable palace over there.
Oh,
so
no.
Things have changed around here. Amazing.
certainly a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Maybe in the past, to learn guzheng, you'd have to do it in school or in a music conservatory or something. They're probably quite expensive to buy too, aren't
Yes.
they? I'd say they really are. Maybe you have the equivalent of the Stradivarius guzheng. I don't know.
We do.
You probably do. I'm sure you do. Now, I can play the guzheng, and you say, "Well, really?"
是吗？是吗？
As in, is that true? Or and so on. 是吗? The verb 是 to be, we've had that many times. Now, can you teach me?
你可以教我吗？你可以教我吗？
Great. Now, 你可以教我吗 is a sentence you quite often hear in China because people often want to practice their English with you.
Yes.
And they often say to you, 你可以教我吗?
Yeah.
You know, I'll teach you Chinese. Could you teach me English? 你可以教我吗? It's quite common. It's a great way as well, obviously, to meet people and to chat. And language exchanges are quite often possible. And so the answer is yes.
好的，好的。
Now, we've had it before, but you could just say 好 or 好的. There's no discernible difference to my mind between those. So
No, there
好,
isn't.
好的, they're both fine. Now, no problem.
没问题，没问题。
Now, we talked about high-frequency sentences in China, and this is a word you'll hear all the time. 没问题,
Yeah, we
没问题.
always say 没
We all
问
say-
题.
Now,
It's very ambiguous, which sometimes, confuses people and gets
culturally,
into trouble.
let's look at the tones first, but culturally, this is a fascinating area. So, the tones on this 没问题, please.
没 second tone.
Mm-hmm.
问 fourth. 题 second.
Okay. Now, again, as we've often suggested here, it's better to get the music of it than to just try to memorize all of the numbers of the tone. So, again, the pronunciation is...
没问题，没问题。
Now, 没问题 is something that you hear all the time. And even sometimes when there is a 问题,
When
people,
there is an obvious 问题
an obvious
problem.
问题, people say, oh, 没问题, 没问题. I think it's a very polite way that maybe Chinese people have sometimes of dealing with a problem, as in sometimes to
Yeah, we tend
to play it down.
Want to please people.
Yeah, indeed. Not to tell the bad news. And so, I mean, I've seen it many times where there is a problem, but people say, oh, 没问题, 没问题. As in, I think what that means is, just give me some time and I'll try to sort it out.
Yes.
You know, 没问题, I'll try and solve this. Very flexible, very cultural, lots of depth of meaning there.
So you must read into it.
Indeed, yes.
Don't just take the literal
Absolutely.
meaning.
So there's a lot of cultural depth here, the way we use language in this way. In China, 没问题, literally translated means that's no problem. And in some cases, obviously, that can be the case. But it can also mean, ooh, I need some time to figure this out, what I'm going to do. 没问题, very interesting little phrase. I think we could listen to that dialogue maybe 3 more times, in fact.
你会弹钢琴吗？
不会，但是我会弹古筝。
是吗？你可以教我吗？
好的，没问题。Second time.
你会弹钢琴吗？
不会，但是我会弹古筝。
是吗？你可以教我吗？
好的，没问题。Third time.
你会弹钢琴吗？
不会，但是我会弹古筝。
是吗？你可以教我吗？
好的，没问题。
All right, now a very quick review of the key vocabulary here. So the word for piano is...
钢琴，钢琴。
the verb to play, as in play an instrument.
弹，弹。
Now, this ancient, beautiful instrument that you so often hear on Chinese Pod here.
古筝，古筝。
To teach, as in to teach someone.
教，教。
And no problem.
没问题， 没问题。
All right, we hope you got a lot from that lesson, basic stuff. And again, these sentences are quite flexibly used in many, many, many contexts because we're at the elementary level here. So I hope that was useful. We'll be back again tomorrow. You can see all of this, explore all of this, go and play with all of this on ChinesePod.com. So do that when you got time. We do have to go now, Jenny.
But we'll be back
We'll
tomorrow.
be back tomorrow.
Okay, it's that time to say 再见.
You can only hit the refresh button on your inbox so many times before realizing, I have no friends. Would you like to make some? Learn Mandarin. It's ChinesePod.com. Mandarin on your terms.
As usual, ChinesePod provides an extensive selection of learning materials for this lesson on its website, www.chinesepod.com. You can access this lesson directly with the lesson number 0183. So just go to www.chinesepod.com/0183 and you will find a transcript, vocabulary, and much more. The link again, www.chinesepod.com/0183.